Right then, have you got everything? You got your drink?
Yeah.
Great! I've got my cranberry juice. It's not wine. No, it's a bit early in the day for that.
No, not yet.
Look, I know
Not
it's
yet.
France and everything, but you know.
But it's a bit too. Is it too early in the day now because you've missed lunch?
Yes.
It's now mid-afternoon,
Yes,
so it's
because
now
you
not
only drink
wine.
wine. You only drink wine when you're eating. Hello et bonjour et bienvenue sur notre chaîne. J'espère que vous allez bien aimer cette vidéo. Mais j'ai pensé peut-être de parler un petit peu le français parce que je parle jamais en français et toi non plus. But welcome back to the channel. We hope that you enjoyed this video. This is our life in France. I'm Annabelle and this is Mark.
Yeah. Hi everyone, how you doing? All right.
And welcome back to the channel. And if you're new to the channel, then welcome. And we hope you enjoy what we're going to talk about next today.
Yeah, we've got an interesting subject today, talking about where we've been and what we think about the different areas where we've lived in France. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting discussion today, I think.
Yeah. Well, we thought we would do a video on the various different regions and places we've lived in France because we have travelled around quite a bit, and you know we've had a few experiences, haven't we?
We have.
We've had experiences alone as a couple, and we've had also experiences with our children as a family. So we've done both. I know France pretty well. You know, I've been around France enough times, and you have also got to know France.
Yeah.
Do you know, I know France better than I know England. Yeah.
We've travelled a lot around France.
Yeah.
If you want to go somewhere, we don't tend to fly, we tend to drive, so you tend to see a lot of France.
I mean, if you've seen any of our videos, I'm actually half French and English, so I was born with my dual nationality. So I'm very lucky because I have French family, French blood, and English family. So I'm both. And our children are also dual nationals, born with dual nationality. And you are well and truly adopted, I think.
Yeah, well, I'm English and Australian actually. So yeah, we're a bit of a mix.
We are. And it's great. And I think everyone should be proud of everything that they are. I think, you know, we're certainly very proud of everything that we are. And we celebrate it. And we enjoy everything that it gives us. So, you know, there's so much beautiful history and, you know, to share on both sides. So it's lovely. And so, yes, where shall we start? Well, let's start at the beginning. I mean, I've always spent holidays in France. So I've always known kind of this area, northwest of France, pretty well, coming on holidays since I was in the womb, really. So going to visit my grandma, and the Sarthe is very beautiful. I've lived in Paris as a teenager. I've been to school and I worked. My first job was in Paris when I was very young. So I've had that experience of, you know, traveling on the metro on my own and, you know, as a 16, 17-year-old and, you know, just working in Paris and living in the suburbs. So we're going to talk about living in France and also how safe we feel France is as well. I think that's quite an interesting topic to look into because, you know, I know everyone seems to hear about things about France and certain areas of France, and I think, you know, I can give my opinion on how safe I feel in certain areas of France as well. And so then, I mean, I've lived in Nantes, in Saint-Nazaire, not far from Nantes, so on the west coast, on the Atlantic coast. I've lived in Brittany. Then when we got together, we lived...
Yeah, we moved to the south of France, lived in Provence for a couple of years, and that was lovely. I loved it down there. You didn't quite like it quite so much because it was a bit warm for you.
No, I love it. I mean, the thing
is...
A bit
warm for you.
Too hot. Yeah, no, it's true. It's too hot for me in the summertime. But funnily enough, ironically, I spent many holidays before we got together down where we lived, actually in the Var, near Borne-les-Mimosas. And
you couldn't live there down that
I've
side.
spent so many holidays there, and I love it.
Yeah,
But living there
it's
was
too hot.
something else.
Too hot for you. That's the problem. It's a beautiful area, and I loved it down there because I love the heat.
Yeah.
But when you've got weeks of the month of the year where and weeks and maybe months where it's over 35, 40 degrees, well over 40 degrees, you found it too much.
Well, there's one thing going on holiday somewhere, because I used to go on holiday down to the near Saint-Tropez, Borne-les-Mimosas way for years and years whilst I was at uni, my uni years, and then we'd go up and we'd do a road trip, go up into the Alps and then back up that way. And even the Alps was hot in the summer, and I knew, because I had only seen the Alps in the summertime before we got together.
Yeah, of course.
And I remember it was very hot, and I was surprised by how hot it was, actually.
Yeah, but the south is a beautiful area, and we love the south. And actually, personally, I thought it was very safe where we were anyway. And the actual region was not like I would have expected. With Saint-Tropez, you think Saint-Tropez is going to be very, very posh, and it is. It's a very posh area, but it didn't feel like that when we were there. It didn't feel quite as over the top as you'd expect it to be. You had the fancy boats and the Chanel shops and stuff, but even so, it was. I enjoyed living down there. I enjoyed it down there.
I loved living down there as well. Because we went down there because your uncle had a villa down there.
Yes.
So we ended up taking the opportunity to go down and look after the villa for your uncle. And he kind of employed us really to go down there. So we kind of left our jobs in the UK. We didn't have any children at the time. And, we were working, we had good jobs, but we decided to leave those jobs to go down to look after the villa down in the Var.
Yeah, it's a good opportunity. It was an amazing property to live in.
It was a one-off opportunity because we knew that if we didn't take the opportunity, then we wouldn't get another one probably like it.
No.
We lived in a lovely villa with the most amazing view, 6 bedrooms, 6 bathrooms.
Yeah, it's huge place.
An infinity pool, jacuzzi outside, and the whole place was just absolutely incredible. And it wasn't Miami-fied or anything like that. It was really authentic, really rustic. French rustic.
It was lovely. It was really
Bastide, a Bastide, and it was really a true, honest French mini chateau. Really, it was, and it was so beautiful, and we have the best memories of it, don't we?
Absolutely, yeah. I loved it down there. Really enjoyed it down there. Actually.
Yeah, we loved it. The thing is, down in the south of France, it does get very, very hot. And that's why everyone's got a swimming pool, because without a pool, you're not going to survive that heat down there, because it can get really hot. And it depends what hot means to you. For me, anything above 27 degrees is just getting too hot. But then I can, 30, 31, I can cope with. But then I remember going to the supermarket in the south of France and it was 44 degrees.
Yeah.
It was 44 degrees, and it was just, and it was like that for quite a few weeks. It was very, very, really, that was maybe a particularly hot year.
For me it was, I can handle up to 40 degrees. It was because it's a different kind of heat, a dry heat down there.
Yeah.
So
it is a dry heat. It's not that kind of sweaty.
That humid heat which you get in the north of France.
Dry.
And it was literally like desert heat. And you do need shade, you need water, but I could deal with it. But once you get over the 40s, like we actually went to 47, and it didn't get below about late 30s for at least 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So even at night it was like 38, 39, and that was hot. That was too much. Do
you know, it was so hot that we went to the beach and we sat down for 10 minutes.
And we left.
And we got up and left, and we went back to the house, back to the Bastille, because we thought we're much better at home because we've got our shade, we've got the pool, and we can just about survive sitting around the house. And there was air conditioning.
There was
we
didn't really use it though. We didn't really use it.
It was only when I got pregnant, and I was pregnant down there, didn't we? We got pregnant, we had our first boy down there. And so being pregnant, I think it was a good thing I was pregnant most of the time. It was winter. So it was autumn, winter, spring. And just as the summer was starting to kick in June, I had him. He was June. So we could enjoy the rest of the summer with our new baby, which was lovely. And it was just magical. So we've got lovely memories down there. So yes, but I would say too hot for us.
Too hot. Well, I could live down there. I could live down there. Too hot for you. I could live down there. Even I did find it too hot because when I was having to work outside and clear the garden and do the gardening work, you can't do the work outside.
You can't do anything.
If I was doing what I'm doing now, like working doing more IT work like I do, and working in an office, I could do that because I'd be inside with air conditioning. But working outside,
you'd have to be indoors with your aircon on.
Doing anything outside,
you'd be fine.
But I loved it down there. I mean, I would actually happily move back. I would happily live in the south of France, and I would. Yeah. But I would have to have a swimming pool, and that's anyone who wants to move there. Be aware that make sure you've got means to keep cool. Either you've got the sea on your doorstep, or you've got a swimming pool in your back garden, because you need that in the summer months.
You do. We did live in a beautiful area. I mean, we lived not far from the Verdun, which is really beautiful. It's all gorges, and you've got all the rivers flowing through, and water rafting and stuff like that. And it's really magical. It's like blue lagoons around there. It's so beautiful. We must go back there. And then you have the La Vendue, which is a beautiful area as well in the south.
A bit further round.
It was further round from where we were. And then you had Plan de la Tour, which wasn't far.
That wasn't far, and that's actually the village and town that Johnny Depp and Vanessa Paradis.
Yeah.
That's why they own. Yeah. Actually, they still own that.
Yeah, because we weren't far from Coquelin. Coquelin, which is where Vanessa Paradis goes a lot to the supermarket there, and in fact we saw her once.
We did.
In Coquelin.
We did.
There was no doubt it was.
Yeah, we did.
But it wouldn't be surprising, would it? Because we were down there often, and we were in that area. So you're going to see some people.
It's the land of the famous people.
You're going to see people.
Especially
the ones that live there. I mean, they lived literally on the other hill to us. We lived on one side. They lived on the other side.
But it's an area where everywhere there's people with money or famous people. So they walk around the same as everyone else, and they should have every right to. There's no paparazzi running around after everyone because the paparazzi are just busy doing everything everywhere else. And just up the other direction we had
Brad Pitt.
And Angelina Jolie.
Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie lived near Bagnols.
A bit further up, but they in their vineyard. Yeah, so it's
in Miraval, and I think he still has.
Yeah, so we were lucky in the area that we lived.
We love a bit of celebrity gossip, don't we?
We love the area that we lived, and I'd happily move back down there.
Oh, it's a lovely area, beautiful, expensive. If you have the money to live, the Var is one of the most expensive regions in France. It is number one, the Var. Sure. So if you have, let's say, you need about 600,000, I think, to probably buy somewhere.
It depends on what type of house you want and how big you want, really. And you can buy it
for a family home with a pool.
You could probably buy for a lot less than that. I mean, the house that we were living in sold for less than 600,000.
That's because the market at that point dipped.
Yeah.
It was actually.
It was a lot more.
There was an offer.
Double that.
not long before
It was double
that, there
that.
was an offer for about 900. It was just under 900.
It was double that. There was double what we.
But
what
now,
we
I think
sold.
that would have changed now because we're talking of 2011, 2012.
I mean, the market changes a lot.
So it's quite a while ago we lived down
The
there.
market changes a lot, so you can hunt around. You could find your bargains, and it depends where you want to be. That's the thing.
You
it all
can
depends
find
about
a
where you want to be.
bargain, but you still need to think about you're going to pay the highest taxes down there.
And if we're going to live there, I'm not going to.
You're going to pay the highest taxes.
Well, of course. If we're going to live there, I'm going to be honest and know that we're not going to buy a 6-bedroom, 6-bathroom house because that's not the way it is.
No, it's still going to be the most expensive region to live though. It's not going to be like Normandy.
Unless you move into a city, then the city life. That's expensive country life down there. That's what that is. Because you're not near a big city. Where you are, you're in Nice, not far away.
And taxes do vary depending on if you live in rural or if you live in a town. You're going to be paying more.
Yeah, but we've never lived in big towns and big cities anyway, so that's not something that I could advise on because it's not something we've ever done.
No. But we do know that anyway. The closer you are to the facilities, to shops, to work, the more you're going to be paying high taxes.
Yeah, the more expensive it is.
Yes. And I would say, what would you say about work-wise in the south?
Oh, I didn't even need to look. That's the thing. I couldn't comment really on that. I genuinely.
No, because we were self-employed.
I genuinely couldn't comment what the work is like around that way.
We were self-employed,
Yeah.
so we did not need to look at the time.
Yeah.
At the time, we didn't have to look for work in the local area to work around there. But all I could say is that I would imagine it's not going to be easy, unless you, like you say, you're near Nice or Toulouse.
Yeah, I mean, where we were,
you're going to find work better around areas like Montpellier.
Yeah, where we were, we had Nice an hour away one way. Caen not far away as well, less than an hour, and then the other way you had Toulouse actually, which wasn't too far either.
No.
So it wasn't. There was big cities nearby that we could have gone to for if you needed work. So
yes.
I mean, I personally, you've got to like heat to live down there, because it's hot. I mean, we did have snow on Christmas Day, which was
I couldn't
unusual.
believe that it actually snowed, didn't it?
It did, but
Christmas Day.
but it's a lovely area. Would recommend it. Would live there again, personally.
Yes. Now, if you're looking for like, if you're thinking of like, is it lively, somewhere lively to live? Are you getting a lot of life down there? And also, are the shops open? No, I would say you're not going to find shops that are going to be open very easily at certain times of the day.
But that's a French thing. That's not. I wouldn't say it's not a seasonal thing down there. I mean, there is seasons.
Yeah.
You've got in the winter thing. Some of the restaurants aren't open as often or as much, but compared to some of the other places we've lived, which is very seasonal, down there all the shops are open all year. All right, it's not as busy. It's busier in the summer because it's a.
But at lunchtimes it's dead.
Oh, of course, yeah, but that's everyone's at lunch.
No, but I would say more so in the south. I feel it more in the south than we do now. Now we're up in the northwest of France. I feel like it's a bit more awake. Like there are actually certain places that are open.
Yeah, I mean, maybe so. I mean, I think that places were more quiet down there because it's the heat of the midsummer day and everyone's having a siesta.
And that's why we love France, isn't it? Because they do know when to stop. They know when to close the shops and just go and have their lunch. They know when to stop and have a break.
And it's generally when you want something.
I like that.
For me, it's always I need something or I want something, and you can't go and get it because the shops are shut.
It's always at lunchtime.
Well, it's or it's in the winter when just after Christmas where everyone closes up because they've done their Christmas and they shut for a month, or August where it's everyone's on holiday. It's
another question then. How did you feel about the southern people, the people of the south.
I thought they were really nice. I like them.
We got on with them, didn't we?
I like them.
Yeah, I did. I really got on with them. And I actually, do you know, after a while of being down there, I was actually getting the southern twang.
Yeah.
I could hear it. I was actually picking it, and I love the southern accent. I really love it. And the people, they are a little bit fiery, and I like that, but they're fiery, but you know when they like you. That's it. And you know what they're, I just understand them. I understand them well. And to be honest, they were really nice people. They were friendly. They were always helpful. All of them.
It's the Mediterranean culture, and everyone down there loves the sun. So the sun comes out, everyone's happy, and that's how it actually is. Generally, most places I find, if the sun's out, people are smiling, and the sun's out a lot down there.
Yeah.
So.
But I did like them a lot. Yes.
Okay, so the south for you too hot. For me, I would give it a big tick, and I liked it down there. So moving on from the south.
Let's move on.
The Alps.
Right.
Because that's where we move to next.